It's AkuyeDede again. ChitChat with AkuyeDede. Hey, I hope you're not tired of seeing my face. I'm not tired of seeing my face. So, guys, today our guest is a distinguished medical professional and leader with over 2 decades of experience in Ghana's healthcare sector. Wow. She began her journey as an anesthesiologist. You know, people who put us to sleep. Okay. In 98, specializing in neuro-anesthesia. Wow. And served at Korle Bu Teaching Hospital for 17 years. She's currently the CEO of Focus Orthopedic Hospital and has been instrumental in providing advanced medical care, including treating spinal deformities in children. Whoa! Managing accident cases, offering diverse medical services. Guess what? She's not just a beautiful, intelligent woman. She's a mother. She's a wife.
True.
And she's a girl woman for my folks out here. Ga is one of the regions, tribes in Ga. Strong people, my Ga people. Strong. So, you know what? We're honored to have her on our show to share her journey, insights, the impact of culture on healthcare. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Irene Wulff to ChitChat with AkuyeDede. But Dr. Wulff, before we go on, you recently, before we dive into the medical healthcare, blah, 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 let me congratulate you.
Thank you.
Let me congratulate you for winning the award at the 3rd edition of the African Women Conference Awards. Africa's, 2024, Africa's 100
most influential women. I was one of them.
Listen, guys. Let me back. Wow. Oh, I've got goosebumps. I've got that's big.
But I have to make a correction. The name is Irene Wulff. You can't mention Jamestown and leave Adoko out. Yes.
I love this woman already.
So,
I love this. Do you know why I love it? Because I'm not going to tell you my other name. Okay, I'll say it's Carlotta. But guess what? I love my AkuyeDede.
I'm Akua too.
You're Akua too?
Yes. Akua is for strong women.
Yes.
And Adoko is for strong women in Jamestown. So I have the combination of the two.
You're going to have to help me out here. I have to be on my best behavior. Mine is Akuye.
Okay.
Dede is first girl.
Okay.
And Akuye is Kobo for... So I'm Gangbe.
Okay.
So, go easy on me.
I will. I'll try.
So, let me see. Where am I starting from? Personal and cultural background. You're obviously a very beautiful lady.
Thank you.
Born into mixed parents. In America, it's a big thing. Race, color, blah, blah, blah. And then, actually, here, they'll call you half caste.
Yeah.
In America, that's not politically correct. Because the word caste and half, to them, has a negative, connotation to it. So you be called mixed race. So how has your skin color helped you?
To tell you the truth, growing up, it didn't really matter. It has never really mattered to me. However, you get used to people. We go to the market and everybody's like, hey, blofonyo, or oboni koko mache. They always sing a song, oboni koko mache ya pitriko. And then let me tell you a story. I went to a funeral with a classmate of mine from Matimoto. No, she was my classmate in medical school.
Oh, okay.
And we went to a funeral and there were no seats. We were late, so we had to stand. And then a few minutes later, this lady gets up and says, oh, me boni. Chasima me why? Oh. And she gave me her chair. And she left my friend
who was like my skin color.
Who was like your skin color standing. And that is those are some of the advantages that you can get. On the other hand, when you go to the market, once you're lighter skinned, it's assumed you have a lot of money. And so the price of everything goes up. I sat in a taxi and the taxi driver spoke to you. or when we get where she's going, we will just give her a very high price. I didn't say a word. I sat in there, and when I got where I was going, I gave him the exact amount, and I walked away. And he was calling me. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I did understand exactly what you said. So it has its pluses and minuses, but it's not the first thing that I think. Yes, I'm mixed race, but so what? It hasn't made a difference to who I really my values are not because of the color of my skin. My ethics are not because of the value of my skin. My life is not because of the color of my skin. So that is not the first. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter either way here.
When you're here?
Yes.
When you're in the United States?
My son is in the United States, and he has those issues. It doesn't bother him because he grew up confident. And so he's okay, but he's very much aware that it exists. Yes.
Oh my goodness. The things we go through when you're not here.
I know.
Look at the differences. Okay. So as someone who grew up between Accra and Achimtafu, how do you feel these different cultural, because that's different.
Oh, it was a totally different life, but it was a good life in Tafu because my dad was the doctor in the place. He was the only doctor in a 13-mile radius, and he was very well respected. And we could get away with everything because we were the doctor's children. And so after school, there was this orchard full of private orchard with oranges and stuff. After school, we'll pass there and we'll take some of the oranges, put them in our school bags on our way home. And the watchman would say, what are you doing? I said, excuse me, we are the doctor's children. And so we could get away with a lot, but it was a different life. School was 100 meters from the house, so everybody walked to school. They spoke a lot of Tree, and we were Ga kids, but we speak Tree much better than we do the Ga.
Because you didn't live in Jamestown.
No, I didn't live in Jamestown. I just make noise with Jamestown, but I didn't live there. And then we were very well taught because I went from there to Achimota School, and we did very well in the common entrance. And we so there was no difference. But when you get into Accra, you are just nobody. You are with the general population, and actually you are at a disadvantage because they're like, where are you from? Where did you go to primary school? You say it's like, where is that? What is that? You know, the people in Accra, they are highly myopic. They don't know anything. But I came from Accra, so we're here during the holidays. My dad was there for 30 years.
Wow.
So when I was born, he was there. He retired when I finished medical school.
So who's the mixed? Which one?
Both of them are mixed. Daddy used to tell us we are bloody mixed. But that was okay because who we were was who we were brought up to be, and we were brought up to be, very confident, happy people who wanted to achieve something in life. Our dad was always on our case with education and committing to whatever you want to do. If you can't commit to it, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste everybody's time. So you find my siblings and I, whatever we commit to, we do it, and everybody's like, is it your business? Why have you taken this thing so seriously? But that is how we were.
Wow, that's how you were raised.
So that is, those are the things that mattered, not color of my skin or which primary school I went to. No.
See, this is the difference in culture. The American child growing up has a lot of struggles that those of us who grew up here didn't have. I mean, I remember in the States, this Puerto Rican person said to me, for a dark-skinned woman, you're very confident. My response, I don't know if I can share it, was very naughty. I said, for a Puerto Rican, I'm surprised you're not going around stealing pork. But it's because of how we were raised. With a lot of, we were not bothered about our color. We're not bothered about, who lived in a mansion and who didn't. It was, and then we didn't have a choice. You're going to go to school. You go to primary school, you go to secondary school, and you do university. And then you must have a profession. If not, you will not be invited into certain homes.
That's how it was. My dad, we were 3 girls, and then the last one was a boy, and he said to us, you have to do well on your own, because he's not going to ask anybody to use his influence to get you into any school or into any workplace, you know. And if we didn't do well, then we would sell tomatoes in the market. I told you, I grew up being petrified of selling tomatoes in the market. Not that there's anything wrong with selling tomatoes in the market, but in those days, you can imagine. All you know is the lady who you buy tomatoes from, do I really want to end up here? So that alone was a motivating factor. And 2, you have to, when you get married, you are off his financial support. So you better make sure that you are standing on your feet, or you are marrying a man who can take care of you before you get married. So with those 2 things, boy, we were all focused on making sure that we were standing on our feet before we considered marrying anybody. Jeez. But that made us build our careers and have a strong foundation and before we grow, to a certain wise age before getting married.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and starting a family.
Oh
and all
yeah.
of that, which has contributed to our successes.
Wow,
Yeah.
I like that. Anesthesiology.
Yes.
Why?
That is my passion.
Whoa.
So when I finished medical school, I wanted to do surgery.
Oh,
so I went to the head of the department of surgery, and he said, well, to do surgery, you have to either do 6 months outside Accra or join the department of anesthesia for 6 months, because they were an endangered species. Nobody wanted to do anesthesia. So I said, fine, I don't want to go outside Accra. I lived outside Accra all my life. Why do I have to go back there? So I will join the department of anesthesia. And after 3 months of being there, I knew that this is what I was born to do.
Wow.
Yes, I just went in there. I fitted in beautifully. I was able to move through very, very fast. I mean, it was like, that is what I was born to do.
Hey.
And so I didn't even go back to the guy to tell him, I'm sorry, I'm not coming back. I just discarded the surgery idea, and I haven't looked back. I have had absolutely no regrets.
You know what? Let me clap. Let me clap. Because for somebody I've had 7 surgical procedures. I wish they were for my boobs and but no. I've had fibroid surgeries. And I do know this for a fact. If the anesthesiologist, that's the beginning and the end of the surgery.
Yes.
If the person is not good, you're dead. You're not coming back. You're not coming back.
I always make a joke that we are the chief magicians. I mean,
but you
can be awake 1 minute and the next minute you are gone.
Yes.
Or the 1 minute you're feeling some pain here, the next minute there's no pain.
Right.
And so I always introduce myself to my patients as the chief magician.
No. It's I went to get some medical stuff from some place in Ghana, and the person was supposed to give me local anesthesia, but the person was not a medical doctor, and I said, wait, are you a certified anesthesiologist? And he looked at me strange, and I'm like, wait a minute. You're supposed to have gone to medical school, and it's a specialty.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're not touching me. I got up and left. I didn't want any trouble. But neuro-anesthesia, that's also even...
It's more complex.
Yes.
But you know, I think I have tons of adrenaline. I like to move. I like to be challenged. I like the difficult things. I don't like things that everybody can do. Then you just become one of the masses. I want to do something that is different. And for neuro-anesthesia, when I was a junior anesthetist, I mean, you had to do anesthesia for about 1.5 years before you could do the neurosurgery list. And when I was doing my cases, all the anesthetists coming out of the neurosurgery theater, they looked so miserable. Because the cases were long, they would start from morning, and at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., they are still there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is it that goes on in here that makes these people look so miserable?
Right.
So even before my 1.5 years were up, I said I wanted to be there. And everybody thought this girl must be crazy. And so they put me there. And I loved it.
Wow.
I loved it. And I did it in a different way that helped the neurosurgical team to actually grow and do more cases.
Wow.
And the first time I did my neurosurgery case, I was working with my consultant.
Whoa.
I was a nobody, you know.
Oh, whoa.
But I had worked with him for a while, and he was very confident in me and was teaching me a lot. So one day we were doing a case, we were going to start a brain tumor, and he's not present, and I'm supposed to wait for him to come. So I called him and said, we are ready to start.
Right.
And he asked me, can you start? I said, oh yeah. I've been doing this with you for a while, so I can do that.
You were that confident?
So you start, I'm on my way. So we started the case. There's a lot to do before the actual surgery.
Right.
So I did all the preliminary things. Then the surgeons, and I kept calling him, giving him updates. Then he says, oh, I'm getting close, Long and short, he didn't show up.
He deliberately left you there or what?
When they were about to cut, I said, boss, they are ready to start. He says, yes, I know that. I have a meeting at the castle and I am there. So you go ahead and do the case. I've done this with you many times. And I mean, with the last few times you have done it alone. I've just sat back and watched you. So you go. If you have a problem, call me. I was like, what? You want me to do? I haven't even finished my part one, my membership exam yet.
Right.
He's like, Irene, go.
Oh my
I said, okay,
God.
and that was it.
That was it.
That was it. It went beautifully.
Look at
and
that.
I was
He knew you
hooked,
could do it.
and I never left the list. I actually muscled out the one who was there.
Hey, the guy James Samuel came out.
Oh yes, and I owe him a debt of gratitude because he really believed in me.
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
And he trained me well, and I listened to his. Today the younger ones, when you're training them, they don't listen to you.
I was going to ask
they
about
think
that.
you're stressing them out. I teach as well.
Oh wow!
Yes,
okay.
I do. I teach.
Okay.
And but I listen. You know,
Right.
they have the man has over 40 years of experience. You
Right.
are now starting.
They know everything.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they know
and
everything.
he knows the shortcuts. He can recognize trouble coming from afar.
Right.
And he taught me all of that.
Oh, bless
And
him.
so that is how I got started as a neuro-anesthetist.
Wow.
And that is how I started doing all this. He held my hand to do all these complex surgeries. Yes.
The spinal deformities, accident victims.
These are big cases, massive. All over the world, they are huge cases.
Hey.
But right now, we are doing them like their appendix, and of course, we are teaching others to do them too.
What for the appendix?
Not the appendix, the deformities.
Oh, the deformities.
Yes, we're training other people.
Okay.
If you die with all your knowledge, you have failed woefully. So you have to share it.
You have to share it.
Oh,
Thank you. I like that. I like that. That's a good quote. So can you share a memorable case that had a significant,
each
impact?
one of them
It's uniquely
is
different, beautiful,
is beautiful,
rewarding.
You know, when people come to you and when they walk from maybe 50 meters, they can't breathe because the spine is so crooked, it has squashed their hearts and the heart and the lungs, and then you finish and they see you in the car park maybe a month after surgery, 6 weeks, and they come, Dr. Wulff, Dr. Wulff. You're like, oh my goodness, is this the one? Look how she's running to me, and she came in a wheelchair because she could barely move.
And now they're moving.
They're actually running.
They're
Those
running.
are the things that I find fulfilling. I like wonderful outcomes.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't go too well. Though that also happens. You are not God.
No.
You can only do
There's only so much you can do,
yes,
and in that.
But the results from the deformities are amazing. Yes.
You love those.
Yes,
You sound very passionate about those.
I do.
Wow.
I do, yes.
So you've achieved numerous academic milestones. Yeah.
Well, you have to get to get here. You have to do that. Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, you have to, but you see, I'm looking at you.
Because I didn't want to sell tomatoes. That was the pushing factor. I think all the tomatoes I hit the books.
This is interesting. The kind of things our parents told us
Yes.
to encourage, motivate, or deter us. My one was nothing to do with tomatoes and scuba. It was crazy. My mother, God, told me, if you kiss a guy, you get pregnant. So I went, I go to school, I go to motel, I get a boyfriend, and this was Form 2. Form 1, I was just dating all over the place. Form 2, I get a boyfriend, 6th form block, Achimota, boy kisses me, and next thing I know, I'm in a taxi, going home. I took dropping all the way to Osu. I'm crying. I tell my mom, Ma, guess what? I'm pregnant. You're laughing. My mother was like, huh? And I go, I'm pregnant. And then she goes, stop your nonsense. What's that? She said it in Chi. And I go, well, I mentioned the boy's name. He kissed me and I kissed him back. you see that thing, yo. They really need.
My sisters and I, we just laugh about it.
The tomatoes really bugged you. Not
that there's anything wrong with selling tomatoes, but I was like,
no. We're not all going to sell tomatoes. It's not. There's nothing wrong with it. We're not disrespecting tomato sellers.
No, not.
But we're not all equipped to do that. Which brings me to something interesting. You have fellowships with Ghana and West African colleges of surgeons, as well as an MBA. Now, what's that got to do with medicine?
Exactly. So, when I became CEO in 2021, I acted for 1 year, so it's essentially since 2020.
Oh, wow.
I did that because there's always a huge gap between those of us practicing medicine and the administrative team. There's such a gap. And there's always animosity and everything. And I thought, look, I have a wealth of experience in the health sector.
Right.
And then I think that I actually thought I could use common sense and the experience that I had to run the institution. But a year into it, I realized, I'm making mistakes with my decision making.
Right.
There is stuff going on that I'm not sure how to handle. Your finance manager gives you a report and you don't even know the beginning from the end. It's not making sense. You think you're financially okay, and then you realize 2 months down the line, everything is a mess. I thought, no. The experience alone is not cutting it.
Right.
So I have to get the knowledge that I need to be able to do this successfully. Like my dad said, if you commit, you have to do what it takes to make sure you are a good leader. And so at 54, I decided to do my MBA. And it was supposed to be 2 years. And I said to them, it's too long. I can't take 2 years off. I have a job to do.
Right.
And I'm still doing anesthesia as well.
Right.
And so my hospital cannot wait for me. So I did it in a year, 17 months. Yeah, so I
You went through it really fast.
Yes, and it was crazy. I think it's the craziest thing that I have.
And you're let's not forget, she's a mother and she's a wife.
Yes.
And she had a job, and you're adding MBA to it.
So
we'll come back to that balancing act very soon, because it's something that bothers a lot of professional women. It doesn't affect our men. It affects the women, the mothers. So we'll come back to that.